Hello dear students, how are you today? I am Vosiyeva Sh, an English teacher of Bukhara State University. Okay, today our theme is living in a stately house. Today we will talk about this theme in this lesson. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Living in a stately house. Now I would like to give you some information about our theme, and we will start with the getting know theoretical part of our lesson. An English country house is a large house or mansion in the English countryside. Such houses were often owned by individuals who also owned a townhouse. This allowed them to spend time in the country and in the city hence. For these people, the term distinguished between town and country. However, the term also encompasses houses that were and often still are the full-time residence for the landed gentry that ruled rural Britain until the Reform Act 1832. Frequently, the formal business of the counties was transacted in these country houses, having functional antecedents in manor houses. With large numbers of indoor and outdoor staff, country houses were important as places of employment for many rural communities. In turn, until the agricultural depressions of the 1870s, the estates of which country houses were the hub provided their owners with incomes. However, the late 18th and early 20th centuries were the swan song of the traditional English country house lifestyle. Increased taxation and the effects of the World War I led to the demolition of hundreds of houses. Those that remained had to adapt to survive. Now, let's talk about the Chatsworth House. Chatsworth House has been to the same family since 1549. In that time, the house has welcomed kings and queens, prime ministers and politicians, and more recently bands and film crews. And you can also see it looking at the picture. We are all living history, and it's hard to say now that will be important in the future. One thing's certain though, if we throw it away, it's gone. It's said by this writer, Merlin Johnson. Chatsworth House has been home to the same family since 1549. In that time, the house has welcomed kings and queens, prime ministers and politicians, and more recently bands and film crews. If you pay attention, if you notice that these houses were belonged to the rich people, and they all of them owned the estates and the houses with big outdoors and indoors. Yes, and was welcomed kings and queens, prime ministers, upper degree people. The Duke inherited the house on the death of his father in 2004. He says, Chatsworth is a magical place, and I feel lucky to be able to share it with all of our visitors. Chatsworth is situated in the hills of Derbyshire in the Midlands. Many people say it's the most beautiful home in England. There are often art exhibitions, flower show, horse trials, and sometimes concerts in the grounds. The house also earns money from the film industry. It's a favorite location for period film industry. Visitors arrive, see this huge building in this vast parkland, and wonder why it is so big. The reason is that my ancestors built a house fit for a king. It was designed to impress and to persuade royalty to visit. Now I hope that you will get some information about this house, about the Chatsworth house, that there lived the people of upper classes, and that place were held concerts, and it was there were earned from the film industry, and it was a favorite. Nowadays it's also favorite location for the period film industry, and many of people visits this place and wonder seeing this huge building in this vast parkland, and they say why it is so big, because the reason is that this house was built for a king, yes, and queens. Okay, next slide. Let's see next slide. History never looks like history when you are living through it. Yes, it means that history never dies. It always stays, and the people generation will see it. You can also see here in this slide the people of upper classes, yes, kings, queens, who lived in such kind of houses in the estates. Yes. Next slide. Okay, students, I have prepared to you some questions according to our theme. Let's read them. How long has the Cavendish family lived in Chatsworth? Why does the Duke feel lucky? What do these numbers refer to? 1,300, $500. How long has the house been open to the public? It means how long has the house been open to the people of middle, upper classes? And how does the estate raise money? Yes, earning from what? From industry, from film industry, from what? From visiting people. Why was the house built so big? Which members of the royal family have visited the house? Do you have experience of owning a stately home? Are you pondering some new problem? If you, for example, if you own a stately home, are you pondering some new problem? And the last question, why are there no new problems in stately houses? How do you think, dear students? Okay, next slide. This slide belongs to the activity, and this activity will be a home task for you. You will do it independently, and but I will read these sentences with a question tag. The first, it was a great party last night. For example, you can put question tag in the negative position or in the positive. How do you think? But it was a great party last night. How do you think? How can we tell it? How can we answer for this question? Okay, the first question I will answer myself. Be attentive, listen to it. It was a great party last night. These sentences is made out in the positive position, and the answer will be in the negative. Okay, it was a great party last night, wasn't it? Okay, and the rest of questions, the rest of sentences, you will do them independently. It will be homework for you. Dear students, I hope that you get enough information about the theme, and I hope that you enjoy our lesson. See you next lesson. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.